All right, here's that here. You guys are cool. I'm just making sure everything is where it should be. So you guys hope you're having yourselves a great day, great morning, like I am. Yeah. Okay. So hope everyone is fine. Wanna have you having a great morning. Welcome to my channel. This is Yazat. I'm an artist and author. I love to draw art, and that's what I'm here to do is to draw finish this art piece, which is scenery, which has, as you can see, a house with a picket fence and trees and four characters, two adults and two children. I removed my drawing, my sketch, my line art, so you could see a bit more of what's been happening over the last few days. I've been on this for over a week, so I think we're getting closer to the end of this piece. What's left now is to draw the the sea, the ocean, the river. Draw the river, then draw the hills behind the river, then maybe draw the sky, and so on. So that's kind of what's left now. Other things I will do with the drawing I will do offline, but just the general drawing is here for you guys to see. It's yeah, it's here and it looks great if you ask me. If I don't say if I do say so myself. So hope you guys are having a great morning. Thank you for joining the channel. If you haven't joined me, please feel free to follow me. I would love it if you do. I'd love to have your inputs on what I'm doing. Let me know how you feel about everything. Let me know what's going on in your life as well. It'll be brilliant. So without further ado, I'm going to get back to the work at hand, which is made. At this point in time, it's also going to detail more of the fence and see what we can do to add more clarity to it while I have my line art switched off. So far, looks decent. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to see what you're doing with the line art there, but line art is very, very key, right? So yeah, I'm going to continue the work now. I'm just going to make sure I select my correct layer. Then we'll go from that place. So hope you guys are cool wherever you are. Nice to have you here. Please feel free to visit my website, which is yazat.me, which is yazart.me. I would love it if you do. I have a ton of stuff out there. I'm an artist and author, so I do write. I do have a novel called The Jomeland Saga, which is a horror novel, and it's very novel. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy it. You know, when you pick it up, you can buy it on the website as an ebook, download it straight from the website to your desktop, or you can buy the paperback copy on Amazon. There's links there for each country, so you can literally pick the one for your country there. The work's been done for you. All you have to do is just go there and have a good time and enjoy yourselves, right? Okay, so I'm looking at what next to do. I might need to do some erasures. I might need to pick my eraser and go from there. Okay. Right. Let's just check a few things. Right. Right. Let's see. So, da-da-da. Okay. Everything looks fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead. So I'm not entirely sure, but every time I click, select something. Oh, it's kind of weird. Every time I selected my eraser, I would select something else. Either like 10 times or something. Right, so hopefully we got there in the end. So let me just try and get this thing cleaned up. The bottom of it, I'm not too concerned about. It's the top parts on the other sides need to be focused on. It looks relatively good for a painting. Doesn't have to be super accurate. Don't need it to be happy with the way it looks. But we do to be a cleanup. This thing needed. Do the cleanup on these sides. Okay. Yeah. I don't really super need to do these. I'm just doing it just to make it look a bit neater. The key thing is just giving that idea, giving that look that you need whoever is looking at to see. I think the general idea when they look at this is that they can see a fence. That's literally all that matters. You guys know I'm not really well, to be fair, yeah, I'm a stickler for details. I know that sounds a bit contradictory, but if you don't think that's the case, then you will eventually. See what I'm saying? Okay, so let's stick to my brush. This one's actually not bad. Right, so I'm just adding a bit of shade, make it a bit more distinct. You don't have to be pure black, I'm just doing it because these fences are tiny. I don't know how to see, maybe just for me, but yeah, I see them perfectly up close. Hopefully, anybody looking at it will get a good idea as to what they're looking at. Just adding these details to give it some more volume. Okay. Who are you guys' favorite artists? Let me know in the comment section who they are. It's interesting to know what my viewers like. By the way, my stream is subject to change. If I feel like maybe this time frame is not the best time frame for me to stream from, then I'll have to change it. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stick to this. Because it's carved that niche for myself. People like you, they want to watch you. Obviously, people have things to do, right? So I'm trying to figure out the best time to stream. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. I'd love to know what you think about that. I'm just coloring this fence using my Sergeant brush. So you can use any brush you like when doing stuff like this in a coloring app. One of the reasons why I do this is to let people know that you can become a digital artist. You don't always have to have the best drawing skill. You just pick up an app, follow along what I'm doing, try and imitate it. And see, it's fairly straightforward what I'm doing. I have the whole stream available for a week before Twitch decides to get rid of it. So you should be able to go through them and see how I do this stuff. and do it for yourself. If I can do it, you definitely can do it too. That's part of what my stream is about. Empower people to know that you can do stuff like this. If you so choose, you have that art in that art itch. You can scratch it. It's not a crime to do so. And if people might make you feel like you're a weirdo for trying to do what you like doing, but against what you have to do. Nothing weird about that. It's actually how life is meant to be lived. Meant to be lived doing what you love. Life is so short. Uh, life is well short, so you have to do what you love, and it might be something else. Maybe, I don't know, bike riding, skateboarding, hiking, playing games. It might be drawing art. I like to say I do all the above, but I don't do all the above. I do some of them. But drawing art is definitely one of them. That's something I feel you can do as well. What you need to do is just get your drawing app of choice, get what suits you, do your Google search, like you do for everything else when you're Googling the next big pair of shoes. You can Google an app that you like to draw with. You're a big fan of oil painting. Look up best apps for oil painting. You're a big fan of styles like acrylic, watercolor, stuff like this. And look up software that have the best tools for that. And you can either look for the free ones or you can look for the paid ones. You can even get subscriptions as well. But yeah, you don't have to get a subscription. You just look for an app that you like that's free. There's many free apps that are just as good as the ones that you subscribe to. And they're free. Some of them are free. Some of them you have to pay a stipend for them, one off. And then they yours for life, like the old days. These days, you don't see any. Rarely do you ever see companies do pay off. If they do it, they'll want you to pay through your nose for that privilege. And it's still, to me, it's still better than you having to get stuck in a subscription you don't want. Every company that offers a service, I think, should have a one-off payment scheme for certain things. There's all these subscriptions, like everybody is coming out with a subscription. If you have too many subscriptions, you end up having no money in your account. So it's not sustainable. Then again, maybe it might be because that's the world. The world is big enough for everybody, right? So you still find people who need to have those software and have them up to date. So they're gonna pay to have it up to date, and yeah, some companies that allow you to pay for a year of updates, and after that, software is yours, but no updates. I think that's still better than you having to constantly be expected to pay X amount of money every period. So yeah, but yeah, everybody wants to make money, right? And one seems to be convenient for them. Like when you have these countries, like there's a bill, I don't remember what it's called, some kind of bill, what it's called, the EU Welfare Material Bill or something like this. I can't remember what it's called, but that bill has to do with sustenance of materials needed for the country's existence, and they have to have a certain percentage of that material met. So it's a case. It's no longer a case of you know if and or buts we need this. It's like this is like no material, no life. So if you don't have those materials, then you don't get to live as a country. You don't get to have your country existing. And the question now is, where do you get the materials from? So they have both the materials they get inter, you know, interregionally. They have those that get, intra-regionally, and that's the one that kind of, it can be a bit concerning when it comes to Africa and how Africa has been exploited, for a long period of time. I wonder how that bill factors into that. Whether it's going to be like instituted now, or if stuff has not been done to a certain level, what Africa has experienced is not enough. Maybe they need to have more stuff like this, more bills like this, bearing down on them on how they should live their life and so on. It seems like they're expected to live their life for another person's benefits. So it's like um, you have an apple tree in your house, and then somebody else comes and like takes the apple tree, kind of like that, and they're not supposed to say anything, or yeah. So it's I find it kind of weird, or maybe I got it wrong. I hope that's not the case. Hope it's something different, because Africa has been exploited enough, and Africa needs to, you know, be independent and do their own thing. And it's been a long time they've had any kind of real independence, but everyone knows that they never really had independence. Independence means they don't get to be told how to run their countries, but that's still happening. So yeah, that bill is a nice way of saying. I think I could be wrong. Uh, like it's a nice way of saying, oh, we're gonna find a way to like maybe run some kind of underwater tunnel that goes all the way from Europe to Africa to cut away resources constantly. And that's like, how sustainable is that? That kind of mentality is kind of what kills everything, I think, because it's like, didn't we be finding ways to sustain ourselves without needing to rely so much on certain resources? Like, a lot of times people come up with ideas that has to do with not involve oil or doesn't involve certain things, and those people seem to not be left alive for very long, you know. Those people are either hounded or they're poisoned or something, and usually it's people from back home in Africa that Africa is accused of being a cemetery and what they call it again, and it's an SI, S star star T hole, But the reason why is because of things like this, because they don't get to live their life physically. And it's the same Africans who are making everywhere else amazing. Same people that are told that have the lowest IQ and X, Y, and Z are the same ones who are going out there and doing amazing things in different countries and coming up with inventions. I remember the gentleman I heard recently came up with a step ladder for the fire engine that saved lives. He also made it safer for firemen to get into houses. He made it safer for a mounted ladder. That idea was was never thought of. Never thought of. Nobody ever came up with that idea. And if he didn't come up with that idea, they would likely to be using the same thing they were using in the 1900s till today. So that's food for thought. Food for thought. I don't consider myself to be super up to date when it comes to things that goes on in the world. A lot of people out there who are so much more smarter than me in that regard and more up to date and more to scratch. You know, just see one or two things and I just ask myself why why does this exist? Why does a bill like this exist? The people that live in these other countries not matter, They just further, you know. There's a lot of stuff going on in Africa, a lot of stuff going on in Nigeria, a lot of stuff going on in Congo. It's like unending war, unending unrest is one thing after the other. You're not the BOKOH, people is it's something else, it's always something. It's frustrating. So basically I'm just checking to see if this fence looks good, and I think it looks good. I remember something that Aljamain Sterling says that guy is a MMA fighter, former bantamweight champion, lost to a gentleman named Mali. Mali in turn lost to his Aljamain's teammate called Devashili. The reason I brought him up is because he mentioned the fact that Mali was stacking the deck. Stacking the deck in the sense that he sets things up in such a way that it's favorable to him. And that's kind of what's happening here. Things cannot always be favorable to you. You know, sometimes you have to sit back and think to yourself, what can we really do to really generate this income, generate these things that we need? What kind of trade options can we have with other countries and other continents that will be beneficial to us? How can we do trade? How can we change the norm to something that is more tenable but all involved? Everybody wins, right? Because we need these resources and we know we have a sovereign country to get to liars with. So we need to look at them as equals. We need to decide how we're gonna structure this, you know, in such a way that will be beneficial for all parties involved. It doesn't always happen that way though. It always seems like the best way to get things done is to bulldoze your way into people's lives and cause certain things to happen. I don't know why those things keep happening to those specific countries. Other countries are relatively peaceful, certain parts of the world, you know. It baffles me. It really does. Certain countries can never seem to experience peace, but other countries seem to. Right, I'm gonna make a new layer. I call it river. So yeah, I'm random like that sometimes. I just come up with stuff. I don't think about what I'm gonna talk about. I just talk about art. I try to stick to that. Sometimes I don't. So you never know what you're gonna get when you come to this channel. We're talking about horror movies 1 second, talk about the Bible next, talk about what's going on, in Africa, talk about what's going on here, other parts of the world, You never know. You never really know what I'm gonna say. That's why you guys should follow me and join this join this experience. That's the best thing I can say. Okay, I think I'm happy with everything. I think I'm moving ahead to do the water part. I'm undecided what colors I'm gonna go for. I usually do color grading on my stuff. I usually do a lot of adjustments. I will most likely do that offline for this, and if I do a training course on this, I would likely include that in my training course. I have a lot of other courses yet to finish. I need to put up on my website. Website is yazart, which is yazart.me. yazart.me, and I have my horror story, which is called the Land Saga, and it's a doozy. It's something that you're gonna really love. It's an unexpected story, tragic one. If you like that sort of thing, like those sort of stories, this is definitely one of them. It can be very sentimental. I think. I think I'm supposed to have drawn grass here. I have to leave that. I have to leave off that. Yeah, I think I'm happy with how things are. Maybe I should have drawn grass. So yeah, as I said, it's on the website. You feel free to go and buy it. It's on sale right now, so go and buy it and enjoy your read. I also have an album called The 12 Tribes of Yesharala. It's a great listen. You can buy it on the website as well, and you can also download it straight to your desktop. I got merch on there with my art pieces, which are on t-shirts, mugs, pins, phone cases, all sorts of things. Just pick what you like and just buy it. You take it to the merchant site and you just get it on there. Yeah, I've got that. I've also got stationery, great looking books, which I'm sure you would love. Buy something for your kids, buy something for yourself, make your colleagues' heads turn, you know, and they'll ask you some questions. I'm sure you love those books. Everything is on there for you. I'm a big content guy. I always said this and I keep saying it because that's who I am. So if you like content, I'm the guy for you. So it's on my website. Feel free to just go on there, find what you like, and get it for yourself. So back to work. I'm basically just looking at this and trying to figure out what color I'm going to use. I brought up the fact that I would do color grade and other things. So I might decide to compile this later as a training course on my website. Just cutting out any sort of unnecessary parts and stuff, any dead space. And also might speed it up as well. But basically, yeah, it'll be packaged because you can have that, for yourself for a very competitive price. I don't have any training courses on day. I'm just letting you guys know because I have my mind set on those sort of things. So yeah, that's another thing I will introduce on my site when the time comes. So look out for that. I'll keep you up to date. So long as you stay on my streams and don't forget to write when you show up on my stream. Then yeah, I'll always let you know what's going on. with me and what I'm up to. So I would do some color grading. I do tend to choose what palettes I tend to go with. I'm a big fan of certain palettes. I'm not going to say which one I'm going to use, but look forward to finishing this and doing some extra work in it afterwards, I guess. And maybe I'll present that to you guys. Maybe I won't, but it doesn't matter because you have the base thing, which is drawing a scenery like this. You can do it yourself. Uh, Also, if you're a traditional artist, you're somebody who does this stuff for a living. You're very, very capable of literally coming into digital and add that as to your skill set. I know some of you are very busy and you guys have a workflow, a pipeline that you have your skill set on. Maybe have other people who engage in the digital side of things for your art. For those of you who are established traditional artists, and that's brilliant. Those of you who aren't, and even those who are, digital art is a valuable way to express yourself and express your art. And as you can see, if I can do this, then yeah, as you can see, you know when this whole stream started, it wasn't looking like this. It was not looking like this, but it's looking at is you can see how it looks now. So yeah, it is possible for you to do all sorts of things. You can, go to any level of detail. I don't tend to go into too much detail when it comes to drawing. I think the paints and the placement of that paint and how you express that paint speaks for itself. I don't have to do too much or that's my own style. Everyone has their own style. This is my style. I wouldn't say minimalist. I do love minimalism, but I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but I do like cleanness. I like cleanness, so I try to present that whenever I can. Corel, which is the software I'm using now, Corel Painter affords me the opportunity to be able to paint to a certain level of cleanness. And yeah, when everything is moving as it should. As you can see, it can be a very seamless experience. Just maybe my own quirks on my own side, on my own PC, my own stuff going on and so on that causes issues on my part. Other than that, it's great. It's great piece of software, and I don't use only Corel. My next piece might be with something else. I don't know, but we'll see. Um, yeah, I'm still debating what, because obviously if it's a river, it's gonna be a bit more bluish. Um, if it's like the sea or ocean, it'd be a bit more teal. But I'm gonna go with blue and see how that goes. I'll just hopefully choose something a bit in between. I don't know, something that's like eye catching. I don't want it to be too synonymous with the greenery, so I would like to go with a more vanilla shade of blue, just to make sure that it's doing its own thing, right? So gotta do my thing, man. Gotta do my thing. So let's see. Huh, I don't think that's a bad blue. That's not bad. I want to save that in my color layer. If you notice, I haven't really used that. I don't really rely on these like I used to before. Just share habit. Just tend to have a color layer where I just put stuff in. I probably should use a different brush for that. Brush that doesn't take the background into consideration. I press it hard. So let's use this one. Cool. The reason why I'm doing this is because I might change this color to something else. Actually, I think it's on the same place. That's nice. Go to colors and actually do that there. Thankfully, I was able to see that. I do trust my ability to do colors. So that's why I don't really have to come back to this color layer. Once I get this, I'll likely delete that layer because that's pretty much all I need. That's the last piece. The only thing remaining now is the sky, and then that'll be pretty much it. So let me go back to my sergeant brush. And we can go from there. I don't want this dark. Will it work? Will it work? Maybe it might. Maybe I can layer it lighter afterwards. Maybe I can do that. Yes. Maybe it will work. Why not? Alright, so we're gonna start trying to draw the river. I'm on my river layer. Maybe you can see that, guys. But it's where we are right now. It's pretty dark, but I will lighten it up probably. Fine. Let me check something. I'm not thinking too well about this. I think I'm gonna have to put that layer behind where I need to put it behind. Which I thought I did, but I wasn't really thinking too much about that. Let me see. Okay, so should be behind everything actually. Yeah, in vitro. Yeah, let's do that. So if you didn't know, I moved my layer behind all my other stuff. Hopefully it should be on the right side now. Okay, I'm back in business. Let's try this again. Hmm. Right, so there's a bit of a problem. So I wouldn't be able to go too well behind the grass. For some reason, the grass layer is like a different, it's a different blend mode. I think when I selected a brush, it changed the blend mode to something else. So the blend mode is kind of messing with my rendition, right? So everything else works, but not the grass, because the blend mode is messing with the grass. Unless I change the blend mode, and if I do change the blend mode, then it make the grass looks kind of faded, which I don't like. I don't think I did that yesterday. Right, so I just have to just paint around it. It's not a big deal. In real life, this is how painting would be anyway, right? So not really what I wanted, but next time, obviously, that's like a lesson learned. It's another experience for us to get to Ghana and go from there. I'm not sure if I'm liking this color, to be honest. Yeah, stick with it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I gotta zoom in to make sure I don't do anything silly here. Alright, so just do this. I think I still didn't get. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, right? Hmm. A second. So I'm gonna color this, and yes, I'm trying to find my way around this. I'm gonna have to let me get this straight. Then I can take off the line art. I can decide what to do from there. Make sure I get it clean. And that can be a bit confusing, to be fair. Um, can probably erase that, I guess. Okay, I think we're good. I can go straight from here. Let's continue my C rendition. I'm gonna go from there. C. It's a river, not sea. It's cool. Okay. Every stroke to kind of mirror what you're trying to get, and that's like water. I don't. Yeah, I don't always use a reference, but just try to get a rough idea of the sea look like. With that. So yeah, I'm gonna go through and call all these. Just joining my channel. This is Yazat. I'm an artist and author. I write novels. I draw. I do art. That's what I'm doing here now. I'm drawing this art piece of scenery with a house and forestry with and a body of water. It should be a river. in front of the house. Initially, I wanted to do like a boat or something. I was wanted to have a car in it, but I think like the scene would be too busy. I was like, just leave that out. So I'm just sticking to simple simplicity. Still relatively complex scene, but yeah, just trying to take my time so you can see what I'm doing. Because the whole purpose of me doing this is so you can know that you can actually do this and do it yourselves if you so choose. Anyone can do this digital art stuff. Open your software and just start doodling, you know. Then when you put it on a piece of paper, but the difference that you save it computer. That's another thing. You should never forget to save. Saving is very important when you're drawing a computer. Get in the habit of always saving your work. Especially if your software might be a bit temperamental. So try and get software, drawing software that helps you save your work when it crashes. That's another thing I would like to point out as well. So whenever you get drawing software, try and make sure your drawing software can autosave. Not autosave, you can like save crashed work relatively well. One software that I use that does that very well is Affinity Photo. You can really lose your work in that software if it crashes. Yeah. So tell me how you feel today, how your day is going. Thank you for coming to join visit the channel. Hope you're enjoying this. We do talk about a lot of stuff, not just art. Not be stuff that interests you, but you think that you're gonna have a good time here. That's what we're here for. To entertain you with good stuff. Feel free to follow me and share this live as well with your friends, colleagues, family members, if you so choose. Talk about a lot of different stuff. Will not always be interesting to you, but the art would definitely be interesting to you. Nice to have you guys here, and I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. And you guys are enjoying the presentation. I am following now the river. I don't know how it's gonna go, but we'll see. Make it look as nice as possible. Zooming in, it looks a bit more indigo-ish than kind of like a greenish blue. Well, I tend to go for, but I don't always go for that look for rivers. But yeah, maybe I'm about to change the hue of this river. See. So as you can see, if you can do this stuff, then you definitely can. And that also goes for traditional artists. You can very well move to digital. Obviously, nothing in life is always nothing good comes easy, right? But you just start from somewhere. Pick your software choice. Go through the documentation. More so, go through like the tutorial section. That's where you learn the fastest. Documentation is nice, but yeah, documentation is necessary. Like at some point, I always go through my software's documentation. I can know it inside and out, know what tools it has, what I can do with it, and so on. Not for everybody, but that's what I tend to do. If I really like that software, something I feel like I need in my life, and yeah, I will read the documentation. Not always, not for every software, but for the ones I tend to use on a regular basis. Every software is different and unique, and every software does certain things amazingly well. You have to try and figure out what your software does and use that to your advantage. I love the Sergeant brush. That look, very special look. It's very old school kind of look. Mm-hmm. You can see you can replicate certain looks with certain software. So I'm able to do that with this one. You can see it's changing in real time. But I'm using like the watercolor. There's a watercolor brush, and it has its own engine in Corel. As I am painting, it's updating at the same time to give it that more realistic outlook. So this is what I get with the power of Corel. So there's many software that can do this. In terms of like they all have their own special brushes. So you need to find out which one your software does, you know, and go from there. I'm using it because it's fairly compatible with my streaming software. I don't use Corel often, but I do love to use it when I do use it. I don't have any steady software I use. I do have certain ones I use on a regular basis, but doesn't mean I can't change them. I'm always very fluid when it comes to changing, when it comes to using software. Software is meant to be used. It's software. It's a tool. So whatever tool I feel makes the most sense to me at the time is what I use. And sometimes I do like to learn the process of using those software. Gives me a challenge, and I love a good challenge. A lot of times, to ask you guys who your favorite artists are, feel free to put it to thumb it down in the chat section. Let me know what you think, what your favorites are. I'll ask you what movies you watch recently, and what kind of movie. How many people here watch horror movies or read horror novels? That'll be interesting to know. I write horror, but I don't necessarily like reading horror novels. If that makes sense. Uh, so, which is your favorite Matrix movie out of the four? Because I can't say the three now. I have to say the four, right? It's four now, not three. My favorite Matrix movie is the very first Matrix movie. Doesn't mean I don't have parts of the other movies I don't love. Obviously, there's a lot of parts I love about those movies. They put a lot of time and effort into making those movies, so it's very clear to see, the amount of, you know, effort put into it. The reason why I love Matrix One so much is not even though I think everybody loves Keanu, right? Keanu's like one of the coolest guys in Hollywood, and people think he can do no wrong, right? And so Keanu is cool. My main reason for liking the first Matrix is Lawrence Fishburne. I think he's part of the reason why Matrix was a huge success. I can't say that he's the main reason because I know people will not agree with that, but he's a huge, huge reason as to why Matrix was a huge success, if you ask me. Right, guys, I'm coloring on my river layer. River layer is below every other layer, so that's why I can get away with certain things, but not with the grass. And grass has a blend mode that's affecting my strokes, so I can't paint behind it like I did with everything else. That's something to note for next time. I can't think about when I'm going to draw another scene like this. You never know. I might do it in a different software if I do get around to doing it. But yeah, I do plan to do a lot of other scenes like this, not necessarily looking the same, but kind of like a continuation. I have a bunch of them in my head I need to pull off, so I'll be doing that. So as you can see my layer list, I have my river layer below all my other layers right there in the list. When I create a new layer, just click the new button, whichever one you have for your software that gives you a new layer. That's basically like your bed. Your drawing canvas. I used to say like animation, like you have those screens, you draw on one, then you put another screen on top, you draw like that sort of thing, like onion skinning. It's kind of like what layering is. Depending on what blend mode you use, depends on how your color on the layer on top is interacting with the color on the layer below. I don't use blend modes much unless I need to, like a necessary evil. It's because it kind of revolutionizes your art if you use it correctly. It's very powerful. Something that every artist should indulge in. I do study blend modes, but sometimes I do forget majority of which one is which and what they all do. I know multiply dark makes things darker. That's one of the ones I use the most. And I use color dodge, I use screen, I use overlay, I use color burn, I use most of them. So it depends on what you're trying to achieve. You just look up what the blend mode does. Look it up on Google, and there's great videos on blend modes on YouTube. So you can look those up as well. Don't forget to like those videos too. Those guys put a lot of work into making some great content. I try to do the same. So don't forget to like my stuff too. Don't forget to follow me, and don't forget to you know share my stuff as well. Why do I like? Why do I believe Lawrence Fishburne is pivotal in the Matrix? I hear you ask. um, Lawrence is character-wise. I'm not really too sure who he is as a person. I'm not one of those people that I'm not like a fan kind of person. I'm not a fan of anyone. I'll be full of God. Lawrence is a great actor. Yeah, no, and Carrie Moss were great in the movie. I think part of what made The Matrix so novel is how they pulled it off. I think it's how they pulled it off. The fact that they got these actors and they trained them from scratch. Very few directors ever do that. Ever get actors and say, "Let's train you guys to become killers." You know, very very few directors do it. I think it was after that movie they started to see a proliferation. But yeah, China, they tend to do that a lot with Chinese actors. They tend to look at the guy and they're saying, "Okay, this guy looks good. Has the look, has the stature. Let's give him, uh, let's give him a trainer. And let's teach him some skills in fighting. Let's see how he does." Before you know it, boom, he starts to make money. So they've been doing that stuff a long time in China. Training, like look at oh goodness, I can forget her name. Um, Michelle Yeoh, right? So Michelle Yeoh was a dancer before she became a martial arts phenom. She was taught how to fight, and she fights like she's always been fighting since she was a baby. But everyone in that field knows that dancing and fighting are not very far apart. If you're a good dancer, chances are you make a great fighter. So Bruce Lee was one, right? So yeah, you can't divorce fighting from can't divorce dancing from fighting. My point basically is that in China, those were the people that were kind of trained to do, a lot of crazy stuff in movies. And in terms of skills, like fighting skills, they tell them this is what I need you to do. You're gonna spend the next month learning the same skill from this person, but it has to look believable. It has to look like you know what you're doing. You know, that's why I believe that a lot of actors are actually very dangerous people in real life. A lot of people just don't realize the amount of training these people go through to do their roles. A lot of people who deem themselves to be great martial artists don't even train that. Don't even. They never devote themselves that much. They say someone learning one skill for like 6 months. I think it's a joke. You know, it's not a joke. Like every single day, this is your life. Like this is what you do from the day from the morning you get up, you have your coffee or tea, or you have your shower or whatever. You sleep. This is what you're doing. You know, it's not a joke, and that's literally what they did in the Matrix. They literally got these guys to become like seasoned martial artists, train them to be able to fight. Nowadays, it's like a given. It's like standard stuff. But I think still, you still don't see that level of dedication like we saw like in the Matrix. I can't think of any other movie prior to that movie. The only movie I can think of might be like simpler movies like Long Kiss Goodnight. Gina Davis, I think one of the few women actresses who like took her roles like really seriously in terms of her skill sets. You have the other lady that did Millionaire Baby. She's also one. You have Halle Berry. It was just like Keanu in terms of her versatility and ability to like she's like a sponge. Look at her in John Wick 3 and what she did there at 50. It's insane. A lot of people. half her age can't do what she was doing that movie. A lot of girls who are half her age can't do what she's doing that movie. And I'm pretty sure she couldn't do it either until she got trained. And of course, she took the training seriously, right? And yeah, she was part of the reason why that movie was such a success. And I was looking more at her than I was even at Keanu, that movie. But yeah, it's easy to take Keanu for granted because he always shows up. He always does his thing. He always does what he's supposed to do, right? The only time I think he did it was in Matrix 4. That's the only movie I can think of that he didn't. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I think Fishbone is like the main reason why that movie was a success because he was the oldest one out of all of them. I think he was in his 40s then. He was like a side character. He wasn't like the main character of the movie. Um, he had one main thing to do in the movie, and that was just to find Neo, and that was it. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure like what happened is that when they saw how good he was in his role, they decided to expand his role in the movie. Decided to give him more scenes. But because his scene, if you think about his scenes are not meant to be that many. It's supposed to be just mostly Neo and Carrie, Just mostly sorry, Neo and Trinity. So those are the two people that were supposed to be focused on. So basically, I'm coloring this, and I'm trying to not hit my grass because my grass is on a layer on a blend mode that's going to be interacting with it, which I don't want it to do. So I have to be very mindful to avoid that, and hope that everything looks great afterwards. I learned my lesson on that one. Maybe I have to redo the whole thing again. I don't know. We'll see. But basically, I can't go behind the grass like I can everything else. Excuse me. I can't go behind the grass like I can everything else in this scene. So I need to paint around it. So that's why I'm being very, very careful, very meticulous. Just so you guys see what I'm doing. This is how it looks so far. You know how you always start off with something, it looks kind of weird. But when you keep going and going, then before you know it now, it looks you'll be thinking, wow. That's how a lot of you need to be when it comes to this digital art stuff. You need to take it seriously. You need to believe in yourself because nobody else is going to believe in you. But you believe in yourself. So as I was saying, Lawrence is somebody who he seems to be like a bit of a method actor because he had to inhabit that role. He had to become Morpheus, and his his success as Morpheus will be contingent to making the movie. If I'm saying this correctly, will be contingent to making the movie a success because he had to be believable, and he was believable. That's the shocking part. A guy who had never done, maybe he has, I don't know, but let's just assume. I have not checked into that. He's never done any kind of martial arts before then, then maybe boxing, 'cause most, yeah. He's done maybe boxing, but yeah, the guy had to literally learn from scratch like the rest of everyone, and it wasn't like it was in a advanced timetable, like they gave him more time or anything. Like it was on the same timetable as everyone else. They didn't give him more time to learn, even though it was probably close to twice everyone's age on that set. Or maybe not. Yeah. Um, but the dude to come out with the level of skill that he did in the movie, we've never seen him do any sort of martial arts stuff prior to that. The guy is a strict drama actor. He's very, very skilled, very, very talented actor. To have that level of acting and then to have that level of skill that he had, that he displayed in the movie was absolutely amazing. Was to see Lawrence Fishburne like throwing sidekicks with the dexterity of a second degree black belt in karate. Was like, wow, that was uh that was mind numbing. To be honest, I found that more shocking than even Neo's own stuff. You know, I really did because like, dude, like obviously Reeves is gonna eat it up, right? Because he's young. You know, he has like that mentality. You know, he's always had that action mentality. You know, Lawrence not so much. He's never been so much of an action star. Reeves is known as an action star. He's always been in that action genre, even before he became super popular. So he has vast amounts of experience and preparation in that sort of thing. But Lawrence, you know, not so much. And the guy is actually the oldest one in his 40s. Like, who are who can barely, some people can barely move at that age. You know, it's kind of surreal that the guy is actually doing this sort of stuff. Like, yeah, look at the complicated stuff the guy was throwing in that movie. It's like, wow, it's like, dude, like, whoa. He was trying some really cool stuff, and it was really matching Reeves in terms of intensity and action, and also his display of Morpheus' other side. Like the lead up to that scene was also really good because we never knew Morpheus could throw down like that. You know, we never knew the movie was even about anything like that. It was just another like drama, just getting this, getting that. You know, nobody would ever have thought that Matrix would have been that kind of martial arts epic that it was. Well, actually, yeah, I do remember that the scene did start with Carrie doing some ridiculous, you know, stuff. And that's another thing I wanted to point out as well. That Carrie as well was huge for that movie. Like her mentality and the way she pulled off her own skill sets and stuff. And this is not taking anything away from Neo. You know, you know that Keanu is a given, right? You know, he's an action. He's bred to be an action guy. So that's like his thing. So not taking anything away from him, just simply saying that these other people are not action people. They've not done any kind of action stuff prior to that movie. So I give them props, you know, but especially for Lawrence because dude was the oldest one. Dude was drawing like some of the most complicated stuff out of all of them. Like, and his form was like the form he was showing was like, dude, like to get that kind of form, it takes years. It really takes years to get that kind of form, that kind of comfort. The guy really ate up. He likely ate up that training. Ate it up. That's what it looks like he did. May not have been easy in the early going, but yeah, guy was able to pull it off. He really was able to pull it off, and like I was truly amazed at what this man was doing on the screen. It's like I was really flabbergasted, dude. For him to be throwing his kicks and throwing that kind of stuff, the ease he was doing it. He had strength in his legs. They have a lot of people that train martial arts for years. They never get that kind of strength in their legs. Like even Neo, like even Reeves. Reeves did well. You know, you know, I've had it said to me that Will was supposed to play that role. You know, so I'm not saying that Will would have been better than Reeves in that role. You know, that role is a very defining moment for Reeves. It's a very key role for him. It's a turning point for him as an action star in Hollywood, not just doing random movies and so on. But if you look at Will's son, you look at him in Karate Kid, look at what the kid was able to do. If his dad, obviously his dad, being as talented as that, who knows if he could have done the same thing if he ever got into Matrix. He could have raised his leg the way his son was able to raise his leg all the way up, you know. Because Reeves did it, but he didn't raise it all the way up. He raised it like weight level. You know? I'm not trying to be critical or anything. I'm not trying to say like I've heard stuff, from people who I know about stuff like this, and I think it's a fair point. It's like I guess we'll never know what it would have been like for Will Smith to have done that role. And it's ironic because I think the whole story is based off Sophia Stewart's book, and Sophia Stewart's book is based off dark skin characters because she is dark skin. And yeah, there's a whole thing going on in the law courts about them stealing her idea and making the Matrix with it. And they made a lot of movies with it. They made like the Terminator with it as well. And yeah, she patented it. She knew what was gonna. She knew what was gonna happen, and the rest is history. I think she won the case against them. They owe her like what 3 billion or something. So there's a lot going on with that stuff. And for her to have written that story, it comes from personal experience. That's why it's not possible to just write a story unless you have some kind of experience. Unless you have something to talk about, something you want to get off your chest. That's the reason why we write stories. That's why it's nigh impossible to copy another artist. If an artist dies on a story, it's very, very hard to get someone else to write that story for them because you never knew what this person's experience is in life. Um, you never knew what they went through. Even if they tell you, you still won't understand because people are. I won't say that people are bad. Some people are really awesome friends, right? They're really listening friends. But the reality is that a lot of people out there are not that great as friends. One, two, they don't really listen to what people tell them. So even if someone tells you, "Oh, I went through X, Y, and Z," you still wouldn't understand, especially when you don't really listen to people's stuff. Because it's like, dude, I have my own problems. Why would I listen to yours? But some people tend to act on their problems, and those problems tend to cause solutions to spring forth from those people's issues. And then you, who thought you didn't want to hear their problems, you now want to know, you now want to believe that, oh, you can actually, you know, talk about their problems, or you think you have an idea of what they were thinking. And it's like, mate, no, you don't have an idea what they were thinking. It's kind of like Sweet Home. But that one is done right, in my opinion. But Sweet Home was based off a webcomic, a great webcomic by a Korean guy. I'm not on those of you who watch Korean stuff. I do watch Korean stuff. I do actually like Korean stuff more than Western stuff a lot of times. Um, it's very rare they go wrong in what they do. And it comes to this, the storytelling can be a bit testy, but they do have some. They do have some amazing stuff in there if you look hard enough. So I think it's like Sleeping Giants. You should really, really bias against certain cultures and stuff, then you're not really able to leave a lot on the table. Because there's people out there who understand what storytelling is, but they know how to tell a story. There's people that know how to adapt the story as well. There's people that don't. Right. So Sweet Home is a good example because the very first season of Sweet Home, and even the Matrix 2 can be is a good example as well of a story that completed the first part and then they carried it on for another two parts and so on to, let's just say, I won't say just milk the franchise, but yeah, what else can I say? The story ended, so why else would you want to continue it unless you want to make some more money off it, right? That's fundamentally is the issue I have a lot of times with studios is that they tend to use a franchise like forever. Like at some point, you have to let a franchise die. Don't bring it back. None of that stuff. Like Back to the Future. Back to the Future is an example of a franchise they should never bring back, and they should never like tie it to the previous franchise. You don't want to bring Back to the Future. It should be something completely novel, just like they do with the recent Ghostbusters. Recent Ghostbusters is loosely tied to the original, or let's say it's really tied to the original in a good way because they did it right, you know. But obviously, they're not trying to be like the original person who wrote the story. They know they'll never be who wrote the story, so they just wrote it in their own way, in the most quirky way they could think of, and it worked. You know, because they gave respect. They gave respect to the original source of the story. They gave respect to who they got the story from, and that's why they were able to cash out. You know, so whenever you respect the source, and yeah, you do something good. That's what happened with Sweet Home. I think they respected the artist. Or I'm not sure if they did or didn't, but Sweet Home pretty much ended in the first season, and they made season two and season three. But when I looked at season two, I just knew that then people I knew didn't know that this was like a web comic. You know, I read the web comic, what I could find of it anyway. But yeah, there's not much. Didn't find all the chapters, but I read the ones I could, and it was really good. And I think they did a great job in the first season of Sweet Home, and they completed it to the highest standard. That's an example of a story that completed ideally the first one. Then they continued it for part two, part three, and I didn't necessarily like that. I didn't like the idea, the fact that they decided to continue a story that had already completed by the artist, you know, by the storyteller. But the way they did it was actually quite cool because they decided to just go a different route and just do their own thing and just come up with some cool stuff. And it worked out because Sweet Home is a very sentimental story. And the second season, in my opinion, was not super sentimental, but the third season was. So they kind of like did things in a good way, you know, and they brought back a lot of things they wanted to bring back from the first part to say, okay, we know, you know, this is Sweet Home and so on, blah blah blah, you know. I was like, okay, cool. They did a good job, right? And yeah, I can appreciate it because they actually decided to do the right thing. Just try to keep things in the vein of the author. Respect the author. Don't try to be the author. Don't try to be somebody you know you're not. You know, type deal. Don't try to redefine what the author has done. Kind of like what they do in Star Wars. The author knows what he's doing. And if you look at Star Wars at the heart of it is a very simple story, very basic. You know, Nothing complicated about that story at all. You see people writing their own rendition and trying to change the story. Is like, why are you trying to change the story? Like, just do what the author did, or ask the author, what were you thinking here? What do you want here? Yes, even if you paid him on or however much money you paid him for the series, have him on as an advisor, right? Because it's his series. It's his series. It's his idea. That's a smart thing to do. That's what a smart person would do. You got Infinity War. Infinity War made like 2 billion. You don't know if those Star Wars movies would have made like 2 billion each if you just did the right things. Initially, I think it was supposed to be John Boyega who was supposed to be the star of the movie. They decided to switch it to Daisy Ridley. I know she's cute, but she could have been a great sidekick, if you ask me, as well. Even though I think she was great in the lead, but I would have preferred to see John in that capacity. That's the truth. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. I'm just saying that I'm just saying what I'm saying, right? I'm not trying to issue on anyone. So just like the same way why people would like Jordan Peele to cast them as the lead in his movies. I would prefer to have, uh, I prefer for them to continue what they were trying to do. It wasn't like I told them to put. I didn't. I wasn't part of the team that told them to put John Boyega in the movie and to make him a side character. I wasn't part of the team that put John Boyega in the movie and decided to make him a lead character. I wasn't part of them. So I'm just on the outside looking in and just thinking to myself, maybe it might be a good idea to have something different. I know we'll be like, oh, diversity is for not like to me, all this diversity stuff is just are just buzzwords to me personally. They're just buzzwords to me. I just feel like we need to, they need to stop taking advantage of asking people and just give asking people that due, right? If they have the ability to lead that movie, let them lead the movie. The movie flops, it flops. How many flops do we have with white people leading? Nobody issues on them. Nobody says anything to them. We still have a lot of love and respect for them. As actors, I think Reeves did a movie. I think it's Seven Samurai. I can't remember what it's called. The movie was kind of like a flop. Or maybe I'm wrong, but I think that movie didn't do super well. No, nobody jumped on him, and they shouldn't, because the guy's giving what decades of entertainment. Same thing with like people like Tom Cruise. They've been giving a lot of entertainment. So if they make one clunker, then why would you be overly whatever? Like it's not a big deal. It's not that serious. Same thing with like that Star Wars thing. Just let John have his day. Let this dude have his day. Let him be there. Let him be there. Just put him there. Don't think too much about it. Just put him there. Just put him inside. you know? Don't worry about what you think, what the skill is, all this stuff. Just forget about that. Just put him inside. Just put him in there. Just put him as the lead. That's it. Don't think too hard about it, guys. You know, just put him inside. Or just slot him in there and see what happens. They don't realize the majority of people that actually watch these movies are actually people that look like me. You know, it's majority of us who actually make the world go round, and that's not putting a shade on any other group, as you know. Just saying, like just having some fun here. Some people take it personal when you have uh respect for your group. It's like, mate, like why are you so pressed that I would have like love for my group? Like, am I supposed to hate on my people? Is that what would make you happy? So if I hate my food, like you'll be happy, right? You know, I don't get it. Like, what's the upside for me? Am I supposed to live my life for you? You know, is my upside supposed to be for you? I don't get it, man. I don't get what people want from us. I really don't sometimes. Like, just let us live, man. Let us live. Let us breathe. I want to have a lead role. There's nothing wrong with it now. Nah, let's have that lead role. Give us a chance. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Just give us that lead role. Just leave it there. Just leave the lead role. Yeah, just leave the lead role. Just take that lead role and give it to us, and then just leave it with us. That's all. That's all you have to do. Nothing else. That's it. Hmm? You have to shout. Yeah, I don't know what this big deal is that one set of people have to be the lead. Keep making them the lead now. You could like to watch money burn, just like Joker. People want to see the world burn. You want to see a body burn? Go on, your choice. It's your choice, my guys, my boys. We don't want to make money for anybody anyway. Make money for ourselves. It's all good. We'll find that way to make money ourselves, not relying on anybody. So yeah. On a serious note, like yeah, everything I said was serious. Yeah, we need to be more appreciative, of people like that. Like when you see you have an opportunity to have someone of that caliber in your production and you don't utilize them, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Ever since Star Wars wrapped, I'm not seeing Daisy in anything. Like they did it because she made a ton of money, or I don't know, she got tired of leading, or something. I don't know. And I actually like Daisy. I think she's very cool. I like to see like a dark skinned character in that role. Someone who looks like me. And guys, it's not wrong for me to want someone who looks like me in that role. Come on, dude. I'm down. I'm human. I'm only human. I'm human. He is still only human. Ironically, I want Matrix. So, I went to watch fun here today. It's a crime to have fun. Right, guys, so as you can see, I'm drawing this scene with alas, a little lack of concentration, but hopefully you still come up with something nice. And I'm zooming in to make my water. Forgive me, I don't follow the regular convention to draw water scene. I'm a non-conventional guy. I'm a pretty unconventional guy, as I'm sure you can really tell. That's be Einstein to tell that. Um, okay, so I'm just doing this now. What was I talking about again? Matrix, I think I was. Yeah, so Lawrence, right? So you see what I want to talk about, finish this if I call it today. I have 15 minutes left, guys. So just in case you don't know who I am, I'm Yazat. I'm an artist and author. You can tell I love to draw, love to have fun, the right kind of fun, not just any kind of fun. Because there is a right or wrong way to have fun. So basically, as you can see, I'm drawing this art piece. I've zoomed out a few times. I'm gonna zoom out again for you all to see what it is. And that's it's like a river. At this point, it looks more like the sea, but yeah. I will draw hills in the background and sky, and then we're pretty much done. Maybe tomorrow I should be able to finish this scene. I won't add too many more details, but I'll just keep designing on these. What did I even do today? Trying to think. I've not really done that much work today. Still, I thank God for what we have now. Hope you guys are enjoying this presentation. I'm still going to continue for another few minutes, and I will call it. Don't forget to visit my website, which is yazart.me, yazart.me. That is yazart.me. I have my horror novel, which is called The Judgment Land Saga. It's a great story, great tell, great tale. What am I even talking about? Telltale. It's a great tale for you to read and something that you would likely enjoy. As you can tell, I do have certain capabilities, and I've had those since I was a kid. I'm writing since I was a kid, so I'm sure you're gonna like one or two things about that story. You're very free to download the story for a price on the website. It's it's an ebook on there. It's also available on Amazon. So get it on either of these platforms. I have a music album called The 12 Tribes of Yesharallah. It's available for download for a price as well. Feel free to buy it, download it for your leisure. I have merchandise. This is my art pieces drawn on t-shirts, t-shirts, mugs, cups, pins, canvases, all sorts of stuff. So please feel free to peruse through that. That will take you to the vendor site. You can go on there and see what you like. I also have stationery on my website available, designed specially by me, and it should be very nice viewing for you and for anyone who sees it. They will ask you a lot of questions, and all you have to do is just say, "This is my stuff, and I got it from this place." That'd be awesome if you could do that. I would love that. Thank you so much in advance. Please feel free to support me on this channel. Just send me a chat, follow me, commend me to your friends. I will do my best to entertain you in the best way, the right way. I don't know about the best way, but I say the right way. Yeah. So that's what we do. We're just having fun here. I will wrap in soon. Just trying to finish this sea scene, and then we'll go from there and see how things go. Tell me what you think about this scene. Tell me what scenes you would like. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, but I do like to hear ideas. I did ask you to tell me what um what writers, sorry, what artists you like. I'd like to know who those are as well. Feel free to let me know. And yeah, cool. So let me continue drawing this. We'll be closing with this today. Hmm. Okay, I'm just trying to focus on what I'm gonna do with this. So yeah, as I was saying with Lawrence, I think Lawrence was a integral part of the Matrix. Without him, the movie would not have been what it was. Having someone like him going out there doing the kind of stuff he was doing, and you know his martial arts skills and whatnot, was really and truly amazing to see. The scene where he fought Agent Smith, one thing was especially poignant. The acting, the level he brought to that scene was amazing. Agent Smith himself obviously was just literally it. Was that character? Was literally that character, right? The guy really inhabited that role so well. The guy was so good, so menacing, great villain. You didn't really see much of him until when he fought um, Morpheus, and yeah, the fact that Morpheus was willing to throw down with him just to save Neo was very, very affecting. Neo was willing to risk his life to save Morpheus in the end. That was also really, really amazing to see. So yeah, that scene with Lawrence Fishburne and how he reacted and how Agent Smith was fighting against him and how he was defending and like the way he saw that scene, it was just amazing. Because you could tell that Agent Smith was killing him every punch he landed, but he kept fighting. Never stopped. You could see that desperation in his face. Like you see that desperation in what he was doing, and it was really, really amazing to see and really, really cool. That sort of stuff is what makes movies, man. Those movie moments. When I go to part one, it's not the end scene I tend to watch mostly. That's the scene I tend to watch. The fight between Agent Smith and Neo. And yeah, I watched the fight between Agent Smith and Neo. That one I watch. I usually watch the fight between Morpheus and Agent Smith more. Because I think the one with Neo I've already seen a bunch of times, so I don't search for it as much as I used to. Sometimes sometimes I do have a hankering to see that scene. That was a great scene. One of the most great battles in cinema history. Yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah, Sophia Stewart really deserves the props, man, for writing those characters to such a high level, to be so meaningful all those years. All those years, even all these years later, I still talk about those characters. It's really amazing. The director did a great job as well, bringing it to life his own way. Neo was supposed to be a dark skin character too, so we see a lot of this stuff kind of happening in mainstream movies like I think like Hunter Games. I think it's called Hunter Games. Yeah, the main character there, I think it's Katniss Aberdeen. Yeah, I think I'm not. I don't know. I've not really watched it. I watched the latest one, and it was pretty good. But like they pointed out the fact that the characters, where they come from, and what they deal with is actually kind of based off dark skinned people, and kind of changed the race of the character. So all those dynamics that they were referring to in the novel were kind of lost in the movie. The movie still did well, obviously, because it's a great story. Um, but yeah, the character that's supposed to be the main character was supposed to be dark skin. Wasn't supposed to be a white character. Same thing with Neo in Matrix. You find a lot of times find these characters, these really meaningful characters that people don't forget easily. You find out later that they were actually meant to be dark skin characters. It's like I would have gone if that was a dark skin character. Can't think of that many movies where a dark skin character um, ever gets to be the lead. They always have to swap out the characters' race, swap out everything. Everyone is against the story. Nobody seems to really care. So the story is kind of reliant on the fact the character is dark skin, but they don't really care. They just swap it out. It's like, what is the role of Hollywood really? Like, is Hollywood just supposed to be a place where characters get swapped out for their nation, for nationality, and get turned into something else other than what they started out as? It makes you wonder what the purpose of Hollywood is. If it's just to tell stories, then they should be telling the stories, not changing the stories. I'm somebody who is always bought movies. I've gone to cinemas. I've done the whole hog, or the whole nine. I find it really off-putting sometimes when I find this stuff out. A lot of these characters that you're watching are not meant to be what they show themselves to be in these movies. And I find it irritating, at the very least. Right, guys, so I've come to the conclusion of this live. Hope you guys have enjoyed my commentary, whatever of it you could get. I'm really, really grateful for God enabling me to do another live today. Hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. My name is Yaza, artist and author. Really, really grateful again for you guys watching this, and I hope that you guys have a great day wherever you are. Please don't forget to follow me on here. Don't forget to send me a chat if you have any questions. I'll do what I can. Don't forget to visit my website, which is yazat.me, yazart.me. It is yazat.me, which is yazart.me. Feel free, please, to help me support me on that website by buying my products, buying my books, buying my novels, whatever else takes your fancy. Or just basically, follow me and just like my video, drop me a comment, drop me a chat. It's really, really appreciated. I hope that you guys enjoy my art, my commentary. Anything you have to ask. Feel free to ask it in the chat. We take things from there. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys don't forget, that you're blessed. God loves you. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Ciao.